you?
Good, thank you.
Good, good. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited to be chatting. For those who are continuing to join, thanks so much for tuning in. We are talking to Gabriela from Six, who plays Catherine Parr. Very exciting. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. We'll get to as many as possible. But first, we'll get started with some rapid fire just to get to know you a little bit.
Okay.
So, what is your go-to comfort food?
Go-to comfort food. Well, last night I ordered Taco Bell, so I do love Taco Bell. But I would also say sushi. Any city I go to, I've gotta have sushi. But if we're talking late at night ordering, it's probably Taco Bell.
So good, so good.
Yeah.
Do you have a go-to album or playlist or an artist that you go to just like get you in the mood, to pump you up?
Yeah, I always thought, especially like doing Six, that I would have a certain album or a certain artist that I listen to, and it really it changes. Today I was in like a Motown mood, and then I started listening to like 70s songwriters while I was dancing around the house. So I am really very dynamic with my music taste. I listen to a lot of world music as well. So anytime anyone comes into my dressing room, it's always something different, and I think they like it. I like it that way.
So good, so good. If you were a character from any TV show, who would you want to be?
Oh, wow. Honestly, I would love to be Carrie Bradshaw, but do it the right way and like save your money. Don't go into debt with all your shoes. Maybe pick better guys. But I would love the experience of being, you know, a creative, a writer, living in New York in your 30s and your early 40s, having a great time with a great group of friends. I would love to be in, like, if they ever did a reboot of Sex and the City completely with new characters, I would love to be in a show like that.
There we go. If there's any casting directors on here, you know who to go to. You know who to go to.
Yes.
What is the last show you saw that wasn't Six?
Oh, it was Moulin Rouge here in Chicago.
So good.
Yeah, the day that I flew in from our tech process, we teched Six in New Haven, Connecticut at the Schubert Theater. So the day that we flew in to Chicago, that night I went straight from checking in here in my Airbnb to Moulin Rouge, and I had the best time. I'd never seen it before, and wow, dazzling.
It really is a spectacular show. All right, and to round us out, what was the first show that you were ever in? Doesn't have to be professional.
The first show that I was ever in technically was in fourth grade. I was in a production of, I'm sure people know about this if you did theater in elementary school. It was a Lewis and Clark musical that I guess like everybody does it at elementary schools. Anyway, that was the first production that I was ever in. I played Lewis and Clark's dog. I had a whole song. It was my comedic debut as well. It was a comedic role. And then my first like community theater thing was Annie. I did Annie.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah.
We have so much to talk about, but I want to start at the very beginning. What really inspired your love for acting? What catapulted, like, hey, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life? Mm-hmm. Was it playing Lewis and Clark's dog? Was it Annie? Was it something else?
Yeah, I mean, I did theater for so long as a kid and then all through my teenage years and everything. But really, I think my first love was music. I was a violinist starting at age 3, and then I added instruments onto that, and I played orchestra in high school. I directed an a cappella choir. I was always that person that was the most involved in music as I could be. I'm a songwriter, and so my path is kind of interesting because I did a lot of theater, and then for college I went to college to be a songwriter and a pop star basically was my goal. And then I moved to LA to pursue that, and it's a different world than theater, the pop music game. And there's a lot to it that I found has little to do with hard work and talent. And that's not everything, but I was getting a little bit worn down by that. And so I started to get back into theater in LA, honestly, just to make money by still doing performing. And then I remembered, I was like, this is like, I'm alive again. My soul is coming back. Like, I feel re-energized, and it just, I realized that's what I had been missing. And so then after that, as I continued to audition and as an adult and wanting to get, higher caliber jobs, I did realize that I needed to put more work into my acting. And so I studied Meisner technique at the same school that my brother went to. He's an actor as well. He does film, TV. And yeah, it was a hard moment because I'm somebody who I like to be that person that everything comes easy to them. And if we have this idea that if you're talented or something, it should be easy. And so I had to really have a pride moment and say, no, I do think that my acting ability right now is impacting the jobs that I'm getting. I'm getting notes of, we wanted to see more connection with the acting, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, so I had to have that moment and be like, no, I'm going to go back and study. And I did. And now I'm really happy where I am as an actor. And I feel like I have that balance of music and acting through theater. And it's just the best.
And now you're here, you're in Chicago, you're doing Six, and you are in your hometown. Can you
Yeah.
about your Chicago roots?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, my parents have already seen the show like 6 or 7 times. My best girlfriends from high school just saw the show last night, and a lot of them haven't seen me perform in maybe since high school, honestly. I think that's it. So it's been quite a special full circle moment, and it just feels like the universe is like, we want you to really know how special this job is. I mean, you get to do it. You get to kick it off in Chicago. Enjoy. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to enjoy, because this is really what I've been dreaming about for a really long time.
Absolutely. And you mentioned as well your brother being in the business as well. Did that inspire you in any way, or how did your careers maybe align or not align and push you to where you are today with the family showbiz?
He's definitely a big inspiration. I mean, we were super, super close, are very close. And as a kid, I remember I was 5 or 6 when he moved from Illinois to Los Angeles to pursue acting. And so I visited him all the time. My parents would take me out as much as they could because I just loved him and admired him so much. And so I became familiar with Los Angeles. That's one of the reasons why I moved there after college, is because I had him there and whatever. And I would visit him on set. He started in soap operas. And so I would visit him on set there. And he just seemed, I liked how his days went. That was inspiring to me, was the variety of every day and the flexibility kind of his schedule. And then our paths have diverged though, because he's on This Is Us. He plays Kevin on the NBC show This Is Us, and he's a major film, TV. And Justin, my brother, doesn't sing, or he won't sing, and he doesn't really dance. So we have different skill sets. And so sometimes when I've like compared myself to his career or whatever, I have to remember that we are 2 different people and bring 2 different things to the table, and that's wonderful. And he's always supported my talents and my dreams, and I admire him for his. And so it's inspiring, but it's nice that we're different enough that there's not like competition. There's just mutual sibling love and support.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Well, we have so many questions that have come in about Six. But first of all, I want to know, from your perspective, what really is Six about for those who aren't familiar with the show? It's not your typical musical theater show.
Not at all. Yeah, when I first heard about it, somebody just said, you need to be in this show. It's called Six. It's about the 6 wives of Henry VIII. And I was like, okay, I mean, you thinking of me for a historical musical? I'm not really usually cast in that, but okay. I didn't know that it's the 6 wives of Henry VIII, if they were all 6 pop stars competing to be the leader of a girl group. And it's like a big pop concert. And then when I found that out and I saw the costumes and I heard the songs, I was like, oh yes, this is the show for me. So I think it is a perfect musical theater experience for people who not only love theater, but people who might think, oh, it's not my thing. I don't like show tunes. I don't like the jazz hands. I don't like any of that. we don't really do that in the show at all. If you like pop music, if you like Beyonce, Ariana Grande, Britney Spears, Alicia Keys, if you would go to any of those concerts, you should come to Six, because it's like 6 of those concerts in one. It's amazing. And I've never seen anything like it in theater at all.
It really is so fantastic. And, you know, each of the queens are kind of made after a pop star. When you were taking on the role of Catherine Parr initially, who were some of your inspirations?
Well, Catherine Parr is so, as a historical character, she was a woman of faith, and she was remembered as being the favorite stepmother of Henry's children that were not from her. So she's historically remembered as intelligent and kind and warm and almost like a mothering figure. So to me, the diva that represents that is Celine Dion, because Celine Dion, I know personally, is a woman of faith. She's a mother. She's also got a great sense of humor, though, and she's kind of quirky, and also probably my favorite vocalist of all time. And then also that warmth, I like to take some inspiration from Selena Quintanilla. That's also because I'm Mexican, and so I think it's pretty cool to have like a Mexican inspiration. But yeah, I know the original inspirations were Alicia Keys and Emily Sandé. Yeah, so Celine Dion stuck with me because she's so elegant and at the same time really grounded and down to earth and fun.
Absolutely. So you just mentioned a little bit of your Mexican heritage. How does that play into who you are on stage?
It plays a huge role, and I think it's only in the recent years that I've embraced it, I guess. I mean, I think theater, the direction that theater is going is, I want to see not only stories about people's culture, but then people of color and people of certain cultures being cast in stories that aren't just about that culture. It's like, cast us as people, which I think is really cool to be in Six. And that's something that I ran into when I was in pop music that I felt like wasn't embraced as much. And I was told by somebody who wanted to be my manager when I was, you know, doing the pop thing, that they said, so your name's Gabriela Carrillo. Now, when I look at that name, I think of like a Latin person. Is that what you want to be branded as? And I'm like, and at the time I was young, but now I would go, well, that's what I am. So that sounds crazy. Like to say, now it sounds Latin. Do you want that? Well, that's what I am. So what are you suggesting? So it was weird. And I got a lot of that. So for a long time, I went by my first and middle name, Gabriela Francesca. And I'm not even Italian, but I have an Italian middle name. And then I would get mixed up as Italian, and I felt like my heritage was just lost on people. And so now I go by my real name. I bring my energy into the rooms, and I've played Latin characters on stage before, which is amazing. And even when I don't, I think my spirit and my family is always with me when I perform. My uncle was an actor, and he helped to found one of the, I think the first Latin theater companies here in Chicago. And he passed when I was young, but after he passed, I read into his life, and he's incredible, and he's really the only other actor in my family besides my brother. And so I feel like when I'm on stage, whether or not I'm playing a Mexican character, a Mexican American character, he's with me. My ancestors literally are with me, and I'm celebrating them just by doing what I do, and it's a privilege.
Absolutely. To round us out, I would love to know what piece of advice would you give your younger self?
So much, but I think it has to be like, my first instinct would be to say, stop worrying about other people's opinions of you. But I think that's way easier said than done. And I think it changes when you realize, when you can look back on a period of your life where you could have been enjoying yourself more had you not been comparing yourself or worrying what others think, or saying yes when you really mean no. I think when you realize how precious time is, then you learn that lesson. So that's something I would have told my younger self. And so, yeah, do it. Like, do the uncomfortable things. Go out and audition. Get into act. Just do acting class. It doesn't mean you're bad if you need to take an acting class. That's a definitely a concrete thing that I would have told myself way earlier, is go to class. Just do it. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. Gabriela, thank you so much for sharing your time and talent with us. So fun. Y'all, if you have not seen Six yet, you're gonna want to. It's incredible. It also just got nominated for 8 Tony Awards. Incredible.
Yeah.
So here, it's in Chicago. It's at the CIBC Theater until July 3rd only. Don't miss it. Get your tickets at BroadwayInChicago.com. Gabriela, thank you so much again, and have a wonderful rest of your Thursday.
Thank you so much. You too.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.